and called for the release of hundreds of those arrested in the recent weeks. Mr. Rafsanjan is speaking to a vast crowd at Tehran University's prayer hall, advanced the cause of Iran's beleaguered opposition, saying doubts about the disputed June 12 election are now consuming Iran and calling for a new spirit of compromise from the government. Michael Jackson, more horrifying post-mortem reports. Drug-ravaged Michael Jackson's body had horrifying needle marks behind his knees and even between his toes. And one horrified source said yesterday his body was a virtual pincushion when he died. Whoever was administering his drugs would have done so knowing he was an addict in a terrible state. Veins in Jacko's arms had collapsed and Dodge medics had resorted to pumping massive doses of painkillers into any usable blood vessel in his body. The post-mortem showed marks when needles appeared to have been inserted into veins behind his kneecaps, and marks between his toes suggested he used an injection method favored by desperate junkies. The shock discoveries were disclosed as police inquiries intensified into the conduct of doctors close to Jacko, especially personal physician Dr. Conrad Murray and dermatologist Mr. Arnold Klein. From the state of Kerala, rain-havoc state to seek central aid. The state government will seek special financial assistance from the center for providing relief to those affected by the landslides, floods and heavy rain in Malabar. Continuous rainfall for quite some days together is expected and foretold by experts. 2 more days at least, heavy rainfall will be there, as what they say. Main accused in murder case held. The police have secured the custody of a 31-year-old who is reckoned to be the most wanted gang leader in the district. Official sources identified the suspect as Ambalamukha Krishna Kumar, an English literature graduate and trained medical transcriptionist. The police are yet to record his arrest. Krishna Kumar is chiefly wanted for the murder of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS activist Ranjit at Manandala on October 17, 2008. This year will end with record intake in state service, says V.S. Achudanandan. The current year will end with record intake in state services, Chief Minister V.S. Achudanandan told the Assembly on Thursday. Responding to the notice for an opposition-sponsored adjournment motion alleging deadlock in recruitment by the State Public Service Commission, PSC, Mr. Achudanandan said as many as 15,740 advice memos had been issued by the PSC between January and June, and steps were afoot to recruit 5,000 persons in the State Police Service and 600 engineers in the Kerala State Electricity Board (KSEB) within the next few months. Solar eclipse. A partial phase of the total solar eclipse of the longest duration in 21st century that will occur on July 22nd will be visible in 5 places in Kerala. It's a month of Karkitakm, and everywhere in Kerala it is celebrated as the Ramayana Masam, the month of Ramayana, the great Hindu epic. Recital of Ramayanam Kilippattu is the main event of the celebration. Please see this clip.
മൂലമായി പത്മലോചനൻ ഭൂമി ഭാരത്തെ കളവാനായി നിന്നുടെ തനയനായി കൗസല്യാദേവി തന്നിൽ വന്നവതരിച്ചിതു വൈകുണ്ഠൻ നാരായണൻ നിന്നുടെ പൂർവജന്മം ചൊല്ലുവൻ ദശരഥ മുന്നം നീ ബ്രഹ്മാത്മജൻ കശ്യപ പ്രജാപതി നിന്നുടെ പത്നിയാകും അതിഥി കൗസല്യ കേളിന്നിരുവരും കൂടി സന്തതിയുണ്ടാവാനായി ബഹുവത്സരമുഗ്രം തപസ്സു ചെയ്തു നിങ്ങൾ മുഹുരാത്മനി വിഷ്ണു പൂജ ധ്യാനാദിയോടും ഭക്തവത്സലൻ ദേവൻ വരദൻ ഭഗവാനും പ്രത്യക്ഷീഭവിച്ചു നീ വാങ്ങിക്കൊൾവരമെന്നാൻ പുത്രനായി പിറക്കേണമെനിക്കു ഭവാനെന്നു സത്വരം.
Elephant killed by speeding train. A 35-year-old tusker was killed when the Bangalore-Ernakulam Express train hit it on the track in Kanjikode-Walayar forest area early Friday morning. The mangled remains of blood and of the elephant could be seen on the wheels and coaches of the train. The train could proceed further only 30 minutes after the incident. This is the second such incident in past 24 hours. As a she-elephant was killed in the early hours on Thursday. Animal lovers and environmentalists urged the railway authorities to take steps to relay the railway tracks outside the forest to save the wildlife in the wake of an increase in the number of such incidents in the state. We'll move on to the business world. General Electric earning tumble. General Electric's earning fell 47% to $2.9 billion in the second quarter of 2009 from the same period last year as the slowdown took its toll. Revenues fell from 17% to $39.1 billion from the same quarter last year. Ashok Vijare, owner of the first Nano, greets a crowd as Ratan Tata, chairman of the Tata Group, releases the first Nano delivery. And approached Tata Nano showroom in Mumbai on Friday. Welcome to the world of science. Shuttle prepares to dock with ISS. The crew of Space Shuttle Endeavour has begun preparing to dock with the International Space Station ISS. Before docking schedule for 17:55 GMT, the shuttle will perform a backflip, allowing the ISS team to photograph and inspect Endeavour's heat shield. When the two crew join together, there will be a record 13 astronauts on orbiting outpost. During their 11-day visit, the shuttle team will finish work on a Japanese research laboratory called Kibo. Endeavour was finally launched successfully from the Kennedy Space Center, Florida, on Wednesday after it failed attempts. 5 attempts has been failed before this. The previous efforts to begin the 16-day mission were hampered by bad weather and fuel leaks. And in sports, India's medal hope rests on mixed doubles pair. Pranav Chopra teamed up with Savant Prajakta to keep India's medal hopes alive as they reached the mixed doubles semi-finals, while the rest of the challenge fell by the wayside in the Asian Youth U19 Badminton Championships in Kuala Lumpur on Friday. Now the news headlines once again before we close this day's news analysis. Mulayam Singh opposed to the usage of English language in India. Park sleuths filed second charge sheet in Mumbai terror case. Post-election turmoil has not ended in Iran yet. Rafsanjani interferes. Michael Jackson, more horrifying post-mortem reports. Rain havoc, experts forecast more heavy rains in Kerala. Zhejiang in China in comparison with Kashmir in India. And there we end today's news analysis. Be with us in the coming weeks too. Thank you.